Now get the views of Scott Phillips from Motley. Scott, good evening to you. And as Chris mentioned, the jump in Oil Search shares, it seems, despite rejecting a merger with Santos, things could still develop there.
Tomo, good evening. Yeah, there's nothing like being in play, as we say, to really make a share price stand up and take notice. There is some sense, I think, that maybe this won't be the last discussion that Oil Search has with a potential buyer, whether it's Santos or something else. It basically tells the rest of the market that, hey, this thing is worth buying and it's worth buying at a higher price. That always tends to push the share price up as investors speculate on which buying offer could come next.
Scott, Zip was a big winner today on the back of the Bank of America increasing its stake in the company.
Yeah, big gains for Zip, and this is fascinating, obviously in the context of Afterpay that Chris just mentioned and their opening of banking services. Bank of America moving to a 7% plus ownership stake in Zip. Now, of course, you think about Bank of America, it's not exactly the Australian buy now, pay later investor of choice for most people, but it does remind investors, I think, that right around the world, buy now, pay later is a thing and becoming a larger thing. And if you think about being part of Afterpay or Zip, the two biggest in the space, it makes some sense for Bank of America to want its slice of flesh, and that pushed the share price up today as well.
And talking about big gains as well for HiFi after forecasting a massive jump in profits.
This is extraordinary, 67% jump in profit year on year. Now, we kind of know what's going on. When you see it in black and white, it really does make you stand up and take notice. Work from home, plenty of TVs and computers being purchased from HiFi. Not only a stunning result, but another 7 or 8% above what analysts were already expecting. It's just an amazing juggernaut of a business. Just year after year after year, this thing grinds away more and more gains. Fantastic news for shareholders, well rewarded. Remains to be seen, of course, what comes next. HiFi also warning that lockdowns this time, they're expecting to actually weigh on sales rather than help sales, probably because we've already bought our computers and TVs. There's not much left to buy unless you're in store.
Now, the Aussie dollar, another mover, but it's moving in the other direction, with some analysts believing its next stop is 70 US cents.
Could well be, Tomo. We know that both economic growth and the relative interest rates really determine where the dollar goes. And if you think about us versus the US, right now the Americans have higher economic growth and higher interest rates and the potential for more down the pike as well. Don't forget, though, of course, the lower dollar isn't necessarily bad. We somehow have this national pride thing that higher must be better. A lower dollar is bad for import prices. So if you're buying one of those computers from JB or a car, you're probably going to pay more. But it's really great news for our primary producers, our manufacturing exporters and others who are sending products to the rest of the world. So just a reminder that it's not always a bad thing when the dollar falls. Maybe 70 cents on the agenda this year.
Scott, what about Wall Street? Some big companies reporting there, including Tesla and Netflix.
They don't come much bigger, do they? Not only in terms of market weight, these are two of the biggest companies in the world and certainly on the US markets, but also these businesses really lend their kind of halo to the rest of the market, particularly those growth stocks, the Amazons and Googles and others of the world. When Netflix and Tesla are doing well, the rest of the market tends to do well almost by association, just because growth stocks are back in the go-go space. If the numbers aren't so great tonight, it could be bad. The good news, of course, after the biggest fall in a few months last night, our time, the future's currently up about 0.5%. So hopefully that holds, giving us a good start here tomorrow.
Encouraging sign. Scott Phillips, as always, thank you.